Have you ever brushed off forgetfulness as just getting older? You're not alone, but that simple assumption could be dangerously misleading. According to the World Health Organization, over 55 million people worldwide are currently living with dementia, and nearly 10 million new cases are diagnosed each year. That's one new case every 3 seconds. The most heartbreaking part? Many of these begin with subtle changes that are often dismissed until it's too late. Dementia isn't just about memory loss. It's a collection of brain disorders that quietly impair thinking, behavior, and the ability to live independently. At first, it doesn't erase the mind, it chips away at it. That's why recognizing the early signs is not only important, it can be life-changing. Early intervention can slow the progression, protect independence, and improve quality of life. In today's video, we're breaking down the 10 early warning signs of dementia that most people miss. You'll discover how to separate normal aging from real cognitive decline, when these symptoms tend to show up, and what you can do if they appear in yourself or someone you love. This isn't about fear. It's about awareness, action, and hope. Because the earlier dementia is identified, the more we can do, together. This content is for educational purposes only and does not replace medical advice. If you notice persistent changes in yourself or a loved one, consult a qualified healthcare professional. 1. Trouble with visual and spatial relationships. Visual and spatial relationship difficulties represent a complex early sign of dementia that affects how people perceive and interact with their physical environment. These problems go beyond normal vision changes associated with aging, and involve alterations in how the brain processes visual information and understands spatial relationships. Early signs of visual spatial problems include poor depth perception, making tasks like using stairs, escalators, or curbs difficult. These issues stem from the brain's processing of visual information, not eye problems. Reading becomes harder due to trouble tracking lines, skipping words, or losing place. Even familiar documents may seem confusing. Driving may become unsafe as judging distances, parking, and navigating traffic grow difficult. Distinguishing colors and contrasts also declines, affecting daily tasks like dressing, finding items, or noticing cues in the environment. Balance and coordination often suffer, increasing the risk of falls and making it harder to move around or perform tasks needing precision. Some may become confused by mirrors or reflections, not recognizing themselves or reacting fearfully. Symptoms typically worsen over time, from struggling with maps or directions to difficulty with basic tasks like reaching or walking. Navigation in known places can become confusing, especially in complex or multi-level spaces. These issues raise safety risks like falls or accidents due to poor spatial judgment. Emotionally, people may feel anxious or frustrated by lost abilities, affecting independence. Professional evaluation helps distinguish between eye problems and brain-related processing issues. Adapting environments like improving lighting, using contrasting colors, and creating clear paths can support safer, easier navigation. 2. Changes in sleep patterns. We often think of dementia as a disease that steals memory or personality, but few realize it can first arrive in the dark of night. Before the confusion, before the forgetfulness, there is often a silent shift in the way someone sleeps. According to a 2022 review published in Nature Reviews Neurology, disrupted sleep, especially insomnia and altered sleep-wake cycles, may be among the earliest signs of Alzheimer's disease, even years before diagnosis. This isn't just tossing and turning once in a while, it's a relentless pattern. A person may lie awake for hours, unable to quiet their thoughts. They might wake up multiple times through the night in a state of confusion, or even begins sleeping during the day and staying awake at night, what researchers call circadian rhythm reversal. Over time, sleep becomes fragmented, dreams become vivid or disturbing, and rest never quite feels restorative. These disturbances aren't merely annoying, they reflect deeper changes within the brain. The areas responsible for regulating our sleep rhythms, like the hypothalamus and brainstem, are among the first affected by neurodegeneration. Add to that the burden of anxiety, depression, or the side effects of certain medications, and the result is a vicious cycle. Poor sleep worsens cognition, and declining cognition disrupts sleep even more. The consequences ripple far beyond fatigue. Poor sleep increases the risk of falls, mood instability, immune dysfunction, and accelerates the progression of dementia itself. In fact, a 2021 study from JAMA Neurology found that individuals over 60 who consistently slept fewer than 6 hours per night had a significantly higher accumulation of beta-amyloid plaques, the same brain changes found in Alzheimer's patients. Simple changes, like keeping a consistent bedtime, reducing nighttime noise, limiting caffeine, and using soft lighting, can support better sleep. In some cases, melatonin or other non-pharmaceutical therapies may help. And for caregivers, recognizing sleep disturbances as medical symptoms, not mere aging, can lead to earlier evaluations, better care plans, and a safer home environment for everyone. Because when sleep begins to break down, it's not just a restless night, it may be the brain's first quiet cry for help. 3. Withdrawal from social activities. Social withdrawal represents a significant early warning sign of dementia that often develops gradually, and can be easily misinterpreted as normal aging or temporary life changes. This withdrawal goes beyond occasional preferences for quiet evenings at home. It involves a persistent pattern of avoiding social interactions and activities that were previously enjoyed and valued. Social withdrawal often starts subtly, like skipping events or making excuses to avoid gatherings. People may stop attending regular activities, participating at work, or enjoying hobbies. These changes often signal deeper issues, especially in those with early dementia, who may avoid social settings to hide memory or communication problems. Fear of embarrassment, anxiety, and depression often contribute, creating a cycle of increasing isolation. Family relationships may suffer, and the lack of social interaction can speed up cognitive and physical decline. Loved ones can support by encouraging participation, offering company, and seeking professional help to address mood issues or cognitive concerns. Maintaining social connections helps preserve mental sharpness and emotional well-being. 4. Mood and behavior changes. Mood and behavior changes often represent some of the most challenging aspects of early dementia for both individuals and their families. These changes can be subtle initially but tend to become more pronounced over time, affecting relationships, social interactions, and overall quality of life. Understanding these changes as symptoms rather than personality flaws is crucial for maintaining compassionate relationships. Depression and anxiety frequently emerge as early signs of dementia, sometimes appearing months or years before memory problems become obvious. People may experience persistent sadness, worry, or hopelessness that seems unrelated to their circumstances. These mood changes aren't simply reactions to aging or life changes. They often reflect chemical and structural brain changes associated with developing dementia. Behavioral changes like irritability, agitation, and apathy are common and constrain relationships. A once patient person may now overreact to minor issues, withdraw from hobbies, or lose interest in social activities, not due to laziness but changes in the brain. Paranoia may develop, leading to unfounded suspicions of others. Sleep disturbances like insomnia or reversed sleep cycles are also common and can worsen symptoms. Social withdrawal often occurs as people notice their cognitive decline, which can lead to isolation and further mood issues. Personality shifts can be especially upsetting for loved ones. Someone outgoing may become quiet or reserved. A reserved person may act inappropriately. These changes vary by individual and can be influenced by health and environment. It's vital to distinguish dementia-related symptoms from other causes like medications or illness. Treatment may include medications, structured environments, and behavioral strategies. Family support and education are key to managing changes and preserving relationships. 5. Misplacing things. Misplacing items and being unable to retrace steps represents a particularly frustrating early sign of dementia that affects daily life in numerous ways. While everyone occasionally misplaces keys or glasses, dementia-related item misplacement follows different patterns and creates more significant problems than typical forgetfulness. The key difference lies in both the frequency and the unusual locations where items are found. Someone with early dementia might put milk in the pantry instead of the refrigerator, place car keys in the freezer, or store important documents in completely illogical locations. These aren't simple mistakes, they reflect changes in cognitive processing that affect logical thinking and memory formation. Losing items is especially hard for people with dementia because they often can't retrace their steps. This makes finding lost items difficult and can lead to painful accusations of theft, causing stress in relationships. Early on, items may be misplaced in logical but wrong places. But as dementia progresses, things may end up in strange spots, like clothes in the kitchen or food in drawers. Losing essential items like medication or IDs can have serious consequences, and safety becomes a concern when dangerous objects go missing. The emotional toll is significant. People feel frustrated, anxious, and embarrassed, which can worsen other symptoms. Some develop coping strategies like keeping duplicates or using one storage spot, but these often fail as the condition worsens. Families can help by organizing the home, reducing clutter, and labeling items. Technology like key finders and smart home devices may help if the person can still use them. Occupational therapists can also suggest practical home changes and strategies. It's important to respond to confusion and accusations with empathy, not frustration. 6. Poor judgment. Changes in judgment and decision-making abilities often represent some of the most challenging early signs of dementia for families to recognize and address. These changes go beyond occasional poor choices that everyone makes. They represent a fundamental shift in how someone processes information, weighs options, and makes decisions that affect their safety and well-being. Financial judgment frequently shows the earliest signs of decline. Someone might make unusually large purchases they can't afford, fall victim to scams they would have easily recognized before, or give money to questionable charities or causes. They may become either extremely generous to the point of financial harm, or unusually suspicious of legitimate financial institutions and advice. As judgment declines, personal safety often becomes compromised. People may leave doors unlocked, become overly suspicious, continue driving despite risks, or stop driving out of fear. Hygiene and self-care can suffer with neglect of grooming, inappropriate clothing, or ignoring health symptoms. These changes stem from cognitive decline, not laziness or depression. Social judgment may also deteriorate, leading to oversharing, inappropriate comments, or difficulty understanding boundaries. Medical decisions become unreliable. People might refuse care, forget medications, or misjudge symptoms. Families often face challenges in addressing these issues without seeming controlling. Empathy and early professional evaluation can help distinguish dementia from other causes. Legal and financial planning, including powers of attorney and healthcare directives, should be addressed early to preserve autonomy and ensure protection. 7. Disorientation to time and place. What if one day you wake up, convinced it's morning, only to realize it's nearly nightfall? Or you step outside in a sweater, only to be told it's the peak of summer? For many individuals in the earliest stages of dementia, this isn't imagination, it's the slow unraveling of time and place. According to the Alzheimer's Association, disorientation to time and space is one of the earliest and most dangerous signs of cognitive decline. It often starts subtly, losing track of dates, confusing the order of recent events, or misjudging how long something has taken. But over time, these moments grow more frequent, more confusing, and far more dangerous. Someone may begin to think yesterday's conversation happened just this morning, or feel like an upcoming appointment has already passed. Planning becomes difficult, words like next week or later today lose meaning. And as spatial disorientation deepens, familiar places begin to feel unfamiliar, a quick trip to the store becomes a maze. Some even get lost in their own home, unable to remember which door leads where. Researchers from the Lancet Commission on Dementia Prevention highlight that spatial and temporal disorientation can precede full memory loss by months or even years, especially in Alzheimer's disease. And the consequences go beyond confusion. A person may leave the stove on, miss vital medications, or walk into unsafe environments. Family members often notice when someone begins dressing out of season, not out of neglect, but because their internal clock has fractured. Technology, like reminder apps, calendar alarms, and location trackers, can help in early stages. But as the symptoms progress, gentle supervision and a structured environment become essential. Equally important is the emotional support, because confusion isn't just frustrating, it's frightening. Many who experience it feel anxiety, shame, and isolation. That's why early recognition matters. If you notice persistent confusion about time, place, or routine, even if it seems small, don't ignore it. A medical evaluation can rule out reversible causes, and if dementia is present, early action can help protect independence, safety, and peace of mind for everyone involved. 8. Language problems. Having trouble finding the right words or understanding conversations? These difficulties often manifest as struggles with word finding, understanding conversations, or expressing thoughts clearly. Unlike occasional forgetfulness with names or words, dementia-related language problems are persistent and progressively interfere with daily communication. Word-finding difficulties, known as anomia, are often among the first language problems to appear. People might pause mid-sentence, searching for common words that seem to be just out of reach. They might describe objects instead of naming them, saying the thing you write with instead of pen. These aren't moments of temporary blank-mindedness. They're consistent struggles with accessing vocabulary that was once readily available. Following conversations becomes increasingly challenging as dementia progresses. Someone might lose track of the topic being discussed, ask questions that were just answered, or seem confused by the flow of dialogue. They may have particular difficulty with complex conversations involving multiple topics or speakers, often becoming overwhelmed in group settings. Reading comprehension often declines alongside verbal communication skills. A person who was once an avid reader might struggle to follow storylines in books or newspapers. They might read the same paragraph multiple times without understanding its meaning, or lose track of characters and plot developments they could previously follow easily. Language difficulties often appear early. Writing may become messy, and organizing thoughts, choosing words, or spelling familiar words can be hard. Repetitive speech is common. People may tell the same stories or ask the same questions, often not realizing they're doing so. Following complex instructions becomes harder, especially those with multiple steps. These challenges often cause frustration and social withdrawal as people become aware of their struggles. Family and friends may notice shorter conversations or difficulty in group settings. Patience helps. Speak slowly, use simple sentences, and give time to respond without finishing their thoughts. Speech-language pathologists can assess and offer strategies to support communication. Early help reduces frustration and keeps people engaged. If language issues disrupt daily life, a medical evaluation is important to check for dementia or other causes. 9. Difficulty with familiar tasks. One of the most telling early signs of dementia is when someone begins struggling with tasks they've performed countless times before. These aren't new, complicated activities, they're routine tasks that have been part of daily life for years or even decades. This difficulty represents a breakdown in procedural memory and executive function that goes far beyond normal aging. Consider activities like balancing a checkbook, following a favorite recipe, or operating household appliances. These tasks require multiple cognitive skills working together: memory, attention, problem-solving, and sequencing. When dementia begins affecting the brain, these complex cognitive processes start to break down, making familiar tasks suddenly feel foreign and overwhelming. The progression often starts subtly. Someone might begin taking longer to complete routine tasks or need to concentrate harder on activities that were once automatic. They might skip steps in familiar processes or become confused partway through completing a task they've done thousands of times before. Early signs of cognitive decline often appear as struggles with everyday tasks. Someone who once used a smartphone or computer easily may forget basic functions or become confused by familiar apps. Similar issues can arise with driving, getting lost in known areas, or forgetting traffic rules, and managing finances like paying the same bill twice or misreading bank statements. Household tasks may also become difficult. Cooking familiar meals or doing minor repairs can feel overwhelming, not due to physical issues but cognitive changes. These challenges often lead to frustration, anxiety, or withdrawal with noticeable mood changes. It's important to distinguish occasional mistakes from ongoing problems. When difficulties become frequent and affect independence, medical evaluation is essential. Early diagnosis can identify conditions like dementia or other treatable issues such as vision, hearing, or medication side effects, ensuring the right support is provided. 10. Memory problems. Memory problems are often the first sign people notice when dementia begins developing. However, not all memory issues are created equal, and understanding the difference between normal forgetfulness and concerning memory loss is crucial. The key distinction lies in how these memory problems interfere with daily functioning and independence. Normal age-related memory changes might include occasionally forgetting where you placed your keys, or struggling to remember someone's name during a conversation. These moments are frustrating but don't significantly impact your ability to live independently. In contrast, dementia-related memory problems are more persistent, severe, and interfere with routine activities. People experiencing early dementia often forget recently learned information or important dates and events. They might repeatedly ask the same questions within minutes of receiving an answer. This isn't simply absent-mindedness, it's a consistent pattern of being unable to retain new information despite repeated exposure. Short-term memory loss is often the first sign of decline. A person might forget recent conversations or meals, struggle with instructions, or miss appointments even after noting them down. Meanwhile, long-term memories usually stay intact, leading to confusion both for the individual and loved ones because they seem to remember the distant past just fine. Emotionally, this can be distressing. Many people realize something's wrong before others do and may avoid social situations out of embarrassment. Some try to hide the issue by relying on notes or asking others to repeat things. Family members often notice memory changes during everyday interactions. A parent might repeat questions, forget recent events, or struggle with familiar tasks like cooking or remembering birthdays. Memory decline varies. Some experience a slow change, others more rapid. Occasional forgetfulness is normal, but ongoing memory issues that affect daily life should be checked by a doctor. Healthcare providers look at how memory impacts work, relationships, and independence. They may use tests, review medical history, and sometimes do brain scans. If memory problems persist, seek help early. It may not be dementia, but early evaluation can help manage symptoms and plan ahead. Dementia may start quietly, but its impact on individuals and families is profound. What makes the biggest difference isn't just treatment, it's timing. The earlier we notice the signs, the sooner we can take meaningful steps to protect independence, dignity, and connection. If even one of these warning signs feels familiar to you or someone you care about, don't ignore it. Talk to a doctor, seek support, and trust your instincts. Early recognition isn't about labeling, it's about empowering. Thank you for spending this time learning about such an important topic. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, share it with someone who may need it, and subscribe to our channel for more science-based health guidance and compassionate support. Your awareness can make a real difference for yourself, your loved ones, and your community. Stay informed, stay connected, and take care of your mind. It's one of your most precious assets.